Hello, and welcome to the Starfish training for faculty and staff at Monterey Peninsula College. Today, we are here to discuss supporting students and increasing retention with early academic identification and intervention using the Starfish Student Success Network. Today, we will discuss our current methods for supporting students in early alerts, what Starfish is, our goals, how to use Starfish, including the home screen, your institutional profile, the My Students page, the student profile, tracking items, and progress surveys. So here we see a typical situation that we might encounter in the course of a semester where there are early warning signs that a student might not succeed in that course. We'll have the first day of the semester when things are going well, as represented by the green dot. However, along the way, you may see some warning signs, such as the student is unprepared or does not have the books that they need for the class, or you might see low participation rates, some missing assignments, or even a low midterm grade. Potentially, that student can stop attending your class regularly, and you might end up with a situation where the student fails or is put on academic or progress probation or dismissal. And of course, we do not want any of this to happen. At MPC, we want to make sure that we're connecting with our students before they get to that red dot so that we can help them finish off the semester well and strong. We do have existing methods for support for students and getting them those resources they need. However, these resources often assume that students know how to find help and that they would ask for that help. And we know that is not always the case. We do have students who decide to leave and do not finish their goal simply because they were not sure who to ask for help or how to ask for help and to get those resources. Some of the challenges that we've encountered over time have included that our current early alert system is underused and it does not close the loop and notify instructors that action is being taken. And there are assumptions that students know how the system works and the broken link between our students, our instructors, and the resources that we offer. We've done a much better job over the last couple of years, thanks to your work. And we'd like to add to and enhance that so that we can have a better retention and success rates for our students at the college. And so, that is why we have brought Starfish to campus. Starfish is an interactive communication tool that is web-based and allows for a better collaborative effort between our faculty, our staff, our students, and our support systems and programs to help increase and ensure student success and persistence. Our goals are to increase participation in this early warning process so that we can intervene as a college sooner and help more students finish off with that green bubble as opposed to a red one. To enhance our institutional effectiveness, to have a centralized communication tool that allows us to better collaborate and increase retention and graduation rates for more equitable student success at the college. And now, we'll talk a bit about navigating the Starfish system and the pages that are part of that. So, you'll access Starfish through Lobo apps, and you'll see on the image in front of you the Starfish tile. When you click on that, it will take you to the home screen for Starfish. The home screen allows you to navigate to the other parts of the system, the other screens and displays, and it also gives you additional information that's available so you can see any recent flags that have been raised on students that you have connections to. These are not necessarily items you would be able to address, but you have a connection to that student, so you can see that there is some sort of a flag or kudo or other tracking item, and we'll talk about those later. This bottom section is where you would be able to see flags or kudos that you can manage or raise and that you can access. These three lines right here in the top left corner are your menu bar, and that's what you would click on to navigate to the various different screens that are within the Starfish system. When you click on those links, you will see your institutional profile that allows you to edit your default page, change your photo, change your email address, and other types of information. It also allows you to edit appointment preferences if you choose to implement the scheduling feature in Starfish. We are not actively using that college-wide. And then you'll be able to also identify which notification frequency levels you would like to have and what your preferences are there within the system. So this is an example of what the institutional profile looks like once you've clicked the menu 3 lines. At the top left, you will be able to click on the institutional profile. If you don't see that, just click this arrow here, and then that will open up the institutional profile for you. When you are in your institutional profile, you will have an opportunity to put your title. It defaults to your MPC login information and email address, and your MPC phone number as well. You do have the option to include an alternate email address, although we are strongly encouraging all of our faculty and staff to use your institutional email addresses. You can choose where to send your correspondence again. We are encouraging that you use your institutional MPC email address for this information. You should make sure to check the time zone and have that selected for the Pacific time zone. And then, if you have any general information that you would like to include here, for example, telling individuals how you can help them during your office hours, or any other general message that you would like to include, you would go ahead and type that in this section. You can also provide a biography of yourself if you like. Once you've completed this, click Submit to update that information, and everyone who has access to Starfish would be able to see that. It is visible to them. You can go to the My Students page again using the menu, which is the 3 lines that are in the upper left-hand corner. You would then select the Students option, and that will take you to the My Students page where you can access your rosters for your course if you're teaching. You can also check individual student profiles, search for students through this, and additional information. This is an example of what a My Students page would look like, and you'll see that you have connections to students. For anyone who is an instructor, you would see the different sections for the courses that you are teaching this semester. For our student services personnel and some of our other academic affairs personnel who are not instructors, you would have connections to students through whatever your program or department is. And what you see is limited to specific individuals and roles. So you would click on whichever your connection is to students, and then you would see the list of those students showing up here. And you can click on their names, and when you do that, you would see their student profile. In their student profile, you are able to raise flags, send referrals, give kudos, and to-dos as well. You'll see the courses that they're registered in, any tracking items that they have that are raised for them in the current term, in the notes as well, so long as you have access to those. Not everyone has access to view all notes. And you'll see their Student Success Network as well, just by clicking on these links here. If you wanted to raise a flag, send a referral, or a kudo, or a to-do, you would go ahead and click those for these particular students that you're looking at right now. There are tracking items, and if you click on this tracking tab, you would see all of the tracking items that have been raised for students to which you are connected. You can search for students by their name or their MPC student ID number here. You can limit your view to see whether or not you want to only identify or review the flags that have been raised, or the kudos, or any other tracking item. You can also sort and select by your connection to students. So for faculty who are teaching, this would be your current course sections, and for others, it might be your department or your program. You have several different kudos that anyone who is a user of Starfish can send to students, except the Dean's List. That's an automatically raised one. But everyone can raise a kudo and send a kudo to let students know that you think they're doing an excellent job collaborating, they're improving, they've been exceptional, you want to encourage them to keep up the good work, they have outstanding academic performance, or to let them know that they are off to a good start. We also have flags that can be sent to students, and flags are intended as direct communication between our faculty and our students. And it lets the students know that you're there to help and that there's something that you would like to discuss with them further. So you can raise a flag to let them know if you have an attendance concern, if they have a low average in your course, if they are missing or have late assignments, or if there's some other concern that you would like to discuss. You can click on those flags, and then there's an opportunity for you to add additional comments. When you submit the flag, it sends an email to the student to let them know what the concern is and that you would like to speak to them, and asking them to connect with you so that you can both discuss this further. In addition to an instructor's ability to raise a flag, students also have the ability to raise a flag themselves and reach out for help and assistance. And so you will see here the 7 items that students can raise flags for. They can let us know that they have not been able to get their textbooks, that they need access to technology such as a Chromebook or a hotspot or a calculator, that they need help. They're not even sure about anything more than the fact that they need to reach out to someone for assistance. If they need help in a course, if they need help paying for college, with childcare, with food, transportation, or housing. And we would expect that there is a communication between you and the student to reach out to them about whatever flags they have raised. If a student notifies you that they are unable to get their textbooks, there are a few options for resources available on campus. You can direct them to the Student Financial Services Office so that they can talk to the Financial Aid Office about additional resources there. You can also direct them to the MPC library to see if the book is available either on reserve or through regular circulation. Perhaps your student needs access to technology, a Chromebook, a hotspot, a calculator. You can direct them to the library where they can fill out a request form or check out any of those materials. You are likely familiar with the library's webpage, and so you can click on this and students can go ahead and find out whether or not books are available online, through the circulation, or as course reserves, and identify them. In addition to looking for books, students can request a Chromebook or a hotspot by clicking on one of these agreement forms here, and they're able to pick up the resources on either the Monterey campus or at the Marina Education Center. And you can direct them to the Student Equity Lending Library as a third option that's available. You can find that on the MPC website, on the Student Services menu under Support Resources. There is a link to the Student Equity Lending Library. We have two types of lending library resources available to students. One is an ebook access code request. They can click this link here and fill out the form. They do have to be signed into their MPC Lobo Apps account in order to access the form. We also have a physical book request that is currently run through our EOPS office. However, students do not need to be part of the EOPS program in order to use this and to receive this service. And they can click this link here to make a request for a physical book. Beginning in spring 2022, all Student Equity Library books will be distributed through the MPC library. However, students will still be able to access that information and a listing of available books through the Student Equity Lending Library webpage that you see in front of you. If they need assistance paying for college, you can direct students to Student Financial Services. If they need help with childcare, the Financial Aid Office is also a resource for them. And if their child is at the appropriate age for MPC's ECED Lab School, that might be an option as well. If you have students who need help with food, transportation, or housing, there are multiple resources available for them here through Monterey Peninsula College and also out in the community. Some of our services are available through the Student Activities Office, and you can go to the MPC website, to the Student Life menu, and you will see the Student Activities link. And this takes you to the Student Activities and the ASMPC web pages. If you have a student who is dealing with difficulty with transportation, one option is for them to get their MPC student ID card. Because all current MPC students are eligible to ride Monterey Salinas Transit, known as MST, anywhere that MST travels free of charge by showing their MPC student ID card. And they can fill out this online request form and their student ID will be mailed to them. Or, if they prefer, they can pick it up on either the Monterey campus or at the Marina Education Center. If you have students with transportation issues and public transportation through MST is not an option for them, you can also refer them to the Student Financial Services Office. There's lots of information available to students through financial aid. Going back to other options available through student activities, there is a food pantry for anyone who might be dealing with food insecurity. You can tell your student to fill out a one-time registration form to access the food pantry. Food pantry bags are available on both the Monterey campus and at the Marina Education Center. There are also housing resources available to students through ASMPC. This service is provided when a community member contacts the college to let the college know that they have a room, an apartment, or a house for rent, and those get posted here. There are also links to Craigslist and the Monterey Herald for their postings. There are many resources available to students to support basic needs through our Student Health Services Office. You will see here a link to basic needs information and a flyer that has additional information on support for food, including our ASMPC food pantry. For shelter, also including our ASMPC information. For hygiene, we have shower facilities here available through the gym at MPC. We also have care packages available through the Student Activities Office, which can be picked up in Monterey or at the Marina Education Center. There are many other types of support as well. For example, our Student Job Center for anyone who is seeking employment on or off campus, auto repair through our Auto Tech Skills Lab, A lactation room is available in the Student Health Services office, as well as on the first floor of the LTC at the Monterey campus, and in one of the rooms available at the Marina Education Center. The library and the Marina Education Center both have Mamava pods available to students. There is additional information about other services available through the Student Health Services office at Monterey Peninsula College. If you are not able to address the concern that the student has shared with you and to resolve it in your conversation with the student, then you can send a referral to many of our support resources that are available on campus. So, for this first semester, we have these 8 referral sources available: the Access Resource Center, counseling, financial aid, the library, and any of our academic support centers, the Math Learning Center, the Reading and Writing Center, STEM Cell, and the Tutoring and Academic Success Center. There's also the ability to send reminders to students to complete a task of some sort. For this semester, we have reminders for them to activate their Starfish profile. They do need to fill this out in order to get these communications through Starfish. To communicate their FAFSA or DREAM Act application, to register for next semester, and to submit their graduation petitions. One of the most important components of Starfish is the ability to close the loop to let you, as an instructor, know, or any of our support staff know, that a situation has been resolved or addressed. For faculty who are instructors, you are the only individual who has the ability to close the loop and resolve a flag that you have raised. So, if you've met with the student and things are resolved and addressed, then you would go ahead and click on their name and hit the Resolve button. A window will pop up and you can resolve that flag. If you need to or want to add additional information, you can do that as well. Please be aware that all flags will be cleared at the end of each semester. For anyone who has a referral sent to or assigned to them, please make sure that you close those referrals to let the instructors or whomever else made the referral know that you have addressed that issue. Another feature that Starfish has is the progress survey. You can think of the progress survey as similar to MPC's previous manner for conducting early alert, where an email communication would go out at a certain point in time to notify our instructors to please let our support programs know if there is a concern. This is a wonderful enhancement to that system, though, because it is centralized and all housed within the Starfish system. So, what will happen in the 3rd week of the semester is that all faculty who are teaching will get a notice through their email to let them know that it is time to send a progress survey. We do know that 3rd week of the semester might be a little too early for some of our classes to be able to do an evaluation of where students stand, and that the 6th week of term might be a more appropriate point in time for your course. And so, please know that you will have that opportunity in the 6th week of the semester to send that progress survey out, and we will send a reminder at that time so that you can go ahead and fill out that progress survey and submit that to students and to make referrals. We also will send out another progress survey 2 weeks before the W deadline that has been identified for full semester length courses. This gives enough time for you to notify a student if you have some concern and for them to reach out to our support resources before they have to make a decision about whether or not to withdraw from your course. This is what the progress survey screen looks like. It is a 4th tab in the Starfish system, and you click here to select the drop-down menu where you will see each of the sections for the courses that you are teaching this semester. Your students will be listed here. There is a subset of different kudos and flags that are listed as options for you to choose from. And if you have that concern for students, you click this button. So this Louis Lobo, we're concerned about their attendance, and you can go ahead and click this box here. However, for this Louis Lobo, we want to let them know to keep up the good work. And so we would click this button here. Please make sure to go through for all of the students on your course section before clicking the submit button. Once you click the submit button, you cannot go back to this. We are asking that you help us spread the word about Starfish, please, by introducing this to your classes. You can mention it in your course syllabus, and we have a sample statement as an example from another college that is also linked to our MPC Starfish information webpage, as well as an introductory letter that's an example from Crafton Hills College. There is an MPC student handout on Starfish available on the MPC website. And then, of course, all of this is accessible and available through our MPC Starfish Student Success Network web pages that you can also share with your students. We'd like to give a special thanks to everyone who served on our implementation team and our group of piloting faculty and staff with this implementation. So you'll see the names before you, some of whom have moved on to other positions or endeavors after Monterey Peninsula College, and many of whom who are still here with us this semester. And of course, our students, those who tested it for us before our pilot, as well as those of you who were part of our pilot sections. Thank you so much for all of your help in getting this up and running here on our campus. We really appreciate your time, your effort, your commitment, and your dedication. There are additional resources available. Some have been mentioned a little bit earlier, others have not. You can go to our Starfish Student Success Network web pages. We do have a faculty and staff handbook available, as well as handouts for faculty, staff, and students. There's access and links to some demo videos on the Starfish platform and the features available that you can watch and review. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, you can email starfishsupport@mpc.edu.